Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another fantastic episode of Fail PG. As usual, I am the Mighty Mage. Tonight, we have with us Ross the Boss.
Where did we get this budget from?
Hey, what's up?
And some random guy, Surge, I think was his name. I don't know. We don't need to talk about him.
I believe the name you're looking for is Mr. Shithead.
No,
Also,
literally,
yes.
literally. Where did we get the budget to do that? Wait a minute.
To do what?
That intro was a little fire on it.
I don't. What are you talking about? What intro? The intro was
I
same
don't
as any
pay
other
y'all.
time.
Hold on, I don't pay y'all enough for this. What? Who the hell?
My dear Mighty Mage, what is he talking about? The intro was the same as it always has been, right?
Yeah, I know nothing. I have had no parts in this at all. You know.
Go. You saw the intro just now. The intro was the same,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, same to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I did just get some new glasses. Maybe it's because of the new glasses.
Yeah, I think
new
it's the
glasses.
glasses. I think it's the glasses.
I think it's the glasses.
I'm gonna grab my dice because I just realized I don't have my dice out.
You fool!
Wait, Mighty Mage, did you find your dice?
I did find my
did
dice.
you? Okay.
I had a good excuse, all right? What was yours?
A
Yeah.
very hectic day.
Oh, Serge, you see the background? Guess what I finally put up?
About freaking time. Hey, Harley, baby.
Half of it got torn up because of a child. So I took the.
I'm going to punish her.
That was an accident. It was an accident.
Better be.
So I just cut the part that was ripped off, and so now we just got the good part. You see the good part right there, right? You see the. Hold on, let's see. Can I put it?
But the full body shot is so amazing.
No, but I can do this right now on the camera. And
Oh yeah,
Well,
real class.
we had a
actor.
really good run, guys, and we're already demonetized at the first 30 seconds of this video.
Hey, look, at least we're kind of doing a little better than Invitation to Party. Maybe not. I think we're way worse than them right now.
Well, to be fair, we don't work with a TV company that has to look out for their values and their sponsors' values and not have people say stupid stuff on interviews or for reviews and get the whole cancel culture to start up on the entire channel.
I mean, at least they get bleeped on the regular channel.
Looking at you, Adam Sessler. Be
What?
smarter, my boy.
Adam
It's
Sessler
like you
can
don't
say
like to work.
he said it was a bad idea the first time. No, he said it was a good idea, but then it was a bad idea. I guess he's like, why am I still here? Why can't I just be behind the scenes and let the youngins, run the place? Pretty much.
Shenanigans.
Yep.
All shenanigans.
Shenanigans indeed.
But he's been doing it even before the thing even came back, so you can't really say nothing.
Yeah, literally.
So he kept it alive as long as he could until it finally came back. So what can you do? I feel like I'm too bright. Am I too bright?
You are bright-skinned.
No, I mean the light in my room.
You are bright-skinned.
Fine.
You look as light-skinned as always.
Thank you. See, at least the Mighty Mage can say it right.
You are bright-skinned.
No, Sir Jank is bright skinned. Did
Wait a minute. If he's light-skinned, does that mean he's shiny?
I'm not a shiny Pokemon. I'm not a shiny
Quick,
Pokemon.
get
alright?
my
Yeah.
Master Ball.
Mighty Mage is basically a Nord, as compared to us.
No!
I mean, I've got the beard, but I'm not big and burly, so I must be one of those milk drinker Nords.
You got the skin shade. You got the skin shade.
So wait. Does that make us red guards?
Yeah, we're all red guards.
Yep, pretty much.
Boss Ross is a red guard mixed with an Imperial.
Yeah. He married outside the family.
The sad part is,
Cool.
that sounds like my ancestry right there. A European and an African. And now I'm here.
Forbidden love.
Forbidden.
Or forced? One or the other.
I saw a bunch of red guards stole my horse jokes on Twitter.
I shouldn't have said anything, and now he won't stop. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
See what you've done.
All right.
See what I've done.
Recap time. Who wants to do the
Recap time. Goodness gracious. So, last time on Dragon Ball Z.
It was a very somber
Ronnie...
episode, if I remember correctly.
What's that?
It was a very somber episode, if I remember
It
correctly.
was kind of somber. We actually saw some real emotion from Stryker other than zaniness. Somehow Stryker miraculously managed to not get killed. And that was, saying something. He did quite an awful lot of insane things in that episode. But he's still alive. Ronnie hasn't killed him. Seregios hasn't killed him. Ronnie hasn't killed Seregios or vice versa. Noel somehow still sort of cruised through all of this mostly unscathed.
Yes.
And managed to not get robbed by the kids in the marketplace, mostly because he's flat broke.
Mainly because he's flat broke.
Ronnie and Seregios. Yeah. This episode. Yeah.
Why are you pushing this?
Behind the bar. Yeah.
Why do you want that to happen so bad?
Because she needs love, man. And he definitely needs some love.
Noel has been saying for pretty much the entire season that she needs to get laid.
Hey, I'm not degenerate. I said get a married. That's
okay, fair enough. This is true.
So what you're saying by getting laid is me going to Hawaii.
Hey, say it right. Hawaii?
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 Like,
we gonna make it a way in on this?
Nope. I can tell already. He's lost. Stop reading. Especially if you're reading about your gluten-free gaming stuff. Nobody cares about Hearthstone.
He's out of it right now.
Anyway, where we left off with the gang assembling on the top deck of the Flying Toad. Seregios, I believe, was about to brief everybody on something, and then y'all were going to head out. Although the question is, where? Gentlemen, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Do you remember what you was going to say, Seregios?
Yeah, I remember where all this was going. We were heading to Seregios' favorite place, the White Stag. We're heading back there to go ahead and try to speak with the barkeep to get supplies for our travel back. That is the current goal at the moment. I don't have a voice. Hold on, I can't do accents if I don't have a voice. That might help for a minimum.
Everything off.
Yeah, it's been that kind of day, gentlemen. I apologize to the fans watching. So,
I mean, you should be apologizing to them for your face, not for your voice.
I can and can't at the same time. I can apologize for the fact that they have to look at it for long periods of time. I can't apologize for the way that it is. I was born with a face for radio.
Sure, you keep telling yourself that.
Not even the radio, man. Not even the radio.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was born for a face that fits inside the abyss, but nothing more.
That's a little bit closer to accurate.
So we'll just say podcast.
I mean, I was going to say black hole, but I didn't want to freak anybody out.
That's why you just say
face only a black hole could love.
Indeed. You know, compressed to a singularity anyway. Anyway. So,
all right, let's do this.
Yeah. Do you remember what you were going to say to everybody, or are y'all just going to start moseying?
So, if I remember correctly, I went down to grab those two up from the bottom deck.
Y'all are on top deck now.
He was already on top deck.
That means we should be now approaching Ronnie. Okay. Before we go, Stryker, hood up, please. We don't need another mob recognizing you.
But he don't already realize I already put it on.
You put the cloak on, but not the hood.
Nobody want to put that thing. It smells like you.
He wants to show off his drip, so he left his
I don't know what drip means. Is that like his hair when it's dripping wet from being thrown in the ocean? I don't quite get.
It's a term used by Meridians. It's getting...
I put the hood on. All right, Danny. You happy?
And then in that moment of confusion of the word drip, he will just turn to Ronnie, and before he says anything, you just see Ronnie turn around and start walking down the gangplank.
Okay.
I'm telling you, tonight is going down.
And then, are you saying it out loud, or are you just saying? Oh, okay,
I'm just saying that
it's not happening. As soon as she does that, he turns back to the both of you. How close are you two to her?
As he says that, I'm just like, look at him, and I just start walking right behind him.
Well, I guess that answers my question. I guess let's go, Sir No. And Sir Regios will then immediately start walking off the gangplank in hopes to actually get ahead of Ronnie because he knows where he's going, where they're going. She does not.
He's like, slow your roll, woman.
Roll.
Let the man lead. I'm just saying triggering shit.
Roll for speed.
I'm really tempted to make you roll to see if you can catch up to her. Because she's, I assume, a rage-fueled brisk walk here.
Yeah, very
a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah. Give me, we're going to make this 100 side for each of you.
That is fair. And because I have to separate my dice as per usual, I will be using these fire dice for Sir Regios. I don't know if that caught in the camera either, but
we saw it.
Okay, cool, awesome. He rolled a 27.
Okay.
Sad part is this is the part where I get sad that I didn't get a chance to really eat my dinner. My dinner's gonna go in front of me, and I'm still gonna eat it after 2 hours is up.
You still need to roll me another 100 for Ronnie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, the emergency line. Guess who ain't coming out
well,
today?
She rolled 16, so.
So Sergios tries to catch up to Ronnie, and it seems like she can sense you approaching and just walks faster to stay ahead of you.
Sounds about right.
And now I'm going to need Ronnie to roll a 12 side for intelligence to see if she can figure out where the heck she's going.
She rolls a 9.
Okay, all right. So she doesn't get lost like before, but she's also not going anywhere in particular. She's just trying to stay ahead of Sergios and not be talked to.
So, how do I want to play this?
Yeah, play it smart.
Play to her heartstrings, my man.
While you're figuring out what you want to do with that, Noel and Stryker, are you going to try and keep up with this sort of walking race competition thing going on here, or?
We're just gonna watch and laugh.
Yeah, I'm just like, I got my hood on, just like, man, how much you want to bet he'll catch up with her? Just stop making bets. I said, I bet you 2. Correction. I bet you 1 silver piece and 3 coppers that he won't catch up with her.
Oh, then you're talking about like.
Actually, making a bet right now of Sir Regios catching up to Rodney.
Like when you say catch up, what do you mean by that?
While you two are making your bets,
I'm just gonna start walking.
I feel like this is that one Archer moment where it's like you want to say something, you go, and then just walk off.
So, Sergios, you made up your mind. What you doing?
So he's gonna continue to try to catch up to her, but he's going to smartly call out to her and just say, wait a moment, I don't want you getting lost. You don't have to stay entirely in a grouping setting. They're already hanging back far enough. We can just walk there.
I'm like, yeah, let them walk together.
Wonder how Ronnie would react to him telling her he doesn't want her getting lost. Hmm.
In this particular case, everything is like background noise to Ronnie, so she doesn't even hear it.
He's like, you're not my concern.
Ronnie's got 1,000 thoughts running through her mind now.
1,000 thoughts running through her mind. Okay, then. Well, as Ronnie, where are you walking to? Since you're in the lead.
Ronnie is actually walking back to the fountain where she initially made contact with those kids.
All right. Well, since you did well enough on your intelligence check earlier, I'll say that after a few minutes, you do manage to get to that market square without getting turned around or lost. It's a little bit later in the... Oh, wait a minute now. Actually, I don't remember.
It should have been...
already?
Yes.
Yeah, it's nightfall. So there are considerably fewer people in the market square at this point. Most of the stalls are empty, closed up. Carts have been wiped clean of their wares. Some of the kids are still sort of lurking around the central fountain, and you can see a number of other rougher-looking individuals sort of around the periphery, hanging out in the alleyways and stuff, but not yet brave enough to move into the center of the plaza.
Ronnie walks directly to the fountain itself.
Uh-huh.
And she pulls out 1 copper.
And she's immediately swarmed by like half a dozen kids, all clamoring, "Please, miss, spare a coin."
Ronnie looks down at the kid to her right. Is this one of the kids from earlier?
Flip me a coin. Heads, it's one of the kids from earlier.
That would be tails.
You don't recognize this particular urchin. Although admittedly, if it wasn't the one that you actually handed the cash earlier in the day, you probably wouldn't remember. With all the dirt and stuff on their faces, a lot of them look very similar.
Sounds about right. Don't mind me, I just had an epiphany of something that I've screwed up on.
Ruh-roh.
Notice this side of me, I could just easily reach over here like this, right? There's actually supposed to be something over here right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little sad right now.
No character sheet for you.
Yeah, I'm basically playing blind here.
So you're free. You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah, I need to remember numbers in my head that I don't have right now to remember in my head.
Better go fetch your machine.
Okay, so I'll at least get through this next part and get us to the bar. And then once we get to the bar, you can switch to comedy hour with those two for at least 5 minutes, and that'll be enough time for me.
Oh, we can definitely drag out.
Yeah, right, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Especially Jason.
Oh, yeah.
So, easily enough, she looks down at the child. She forcibly puts a smile on.
Mm-hmm.
She kneels down, hands the copper to her and says, "I can give you this, or I can give you 1 silver piece."
Well, the silver piece would be wonderful, miss.
Ronnie gently strokes the child's head, pulls out 1 silver piece, hands it to her, and then says, "Make sure that your other friend here also gets to eat." And she takes the copper piece, closes her eyes, kisses it, and throws it into the fountain.
All right.
Then that little kid goes, yoink. Bloop.
Why did you say something? Now he's actually going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. one of the other 6 kids around the fountain very quickly grabs the coin out the fountain, and they all scatter.
That's what.
Told you I can fill 5 minutes.
I just can't get the one thing, the one piece of mind.
I'll finally catch up and say, "Here, you can use mine."
Seriously?
Yeah, I'll give her a copper.
You fell back kind of far. I'm pretty sure you're going to need to roll to see if you catch up in time for this.
You were there for a little while.
I'm about to say, you were talking to a little kid. I'm pretty sure that little kid
fair enough.
Giving you the sappiest story ever. He's just like, yeah, I'll give you this or this.
No, we already went through that whole episode. Sad story and all.
Well, that's awfully generous of you, Stryker.
Yep. And I'll join her in throwing one in there with her too. So now I got 1 copper piece.
I'm broke as a joke.
Yeah,
well. Like,
Noel needs to crack some heads and get some gold. Some gold
right.
here.
Get that. Gotta get it going. Ronnie. That's all I go like, Ronnie. So what that little kid just did to you. Here. And I pull out the copper and go, here you go.
No,
Don't you dare.
You're the one who keeps making it obvious.
Well, Ronnie, are you taking the copper and chucking it in the fountain?
Ronnie looks at it and goes, I've already made my wish. And she just kind of takes a seat right there at the fountain.
I go, my wishes never come true. And I act like I'm about to flip it in there. And I want to see what's about to happen. So I just do a regular coin flip. And it goes right back in my hand. I want to see if a little kid comes out and try to take it.
No sooner have you flicked the coin and it made that wonderful metallic ting, then another one of the little urchins pops out from one of the alleyways, looks in the fountain, and then disappears back into the dark.
Right. I always keep my eyes open. And I go, yeah, let me not do that right now. Put it right back in my little pouch. So I go back to 2 coppers now, because I'm not stupid anymore. And then I sit right next down to Ronnie. Don't say a word, just sit down next to her. Just, not real close either. Just like, maybe like 2 people apart from her. So I'm just like,
not quite close enough that she could, hit you with her axe or something.
Yeah. Just right there.
As you're scooting though, you noticeably she's not really paying much attention to you at all though.
That's a good thing.
Almost as if it doesn't even register to her that you're even there anymore at all.
That's fine with me. I ain't trying to die. All right. So now go get your computer.
Yeah. Noel, what you doing in all this?
I'm like, hey, I'll give some money, but I'm broke.
He's not moving. Why is he not moving?
And when one of the kids knows I'm broke, so I can't even fake it.
What is that? That's the second time now. What is that?
I heard it too. Yeah.
That's on my end. My apologies. That's the neighbor's garage door again.
This again? We just went through this last night. Tell them to chill before I drive all the way up to Pittsburgh and I grease their door to the point where it just gets stuck open.
Ooh. If you go, say hi to Adam Cole.
Baby! Oh, we also need to stop by and say what up to Miss DMD while I'm at it.
Of course.
Oh.
Yeah. It's funny. It's a couple of wrestlers that actually does a lot of that lives in Pittsburgh and all that.
It's very surping, but it is true. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in itself, is truly a wrestle-heavy town. So,
and Ohio,
which also throws me off because there's nothing in Ohio.
I know. Now go get your computer. So
Are we at the bar yet?
No.
you sat down.
I said when I get us to the bar.
You said
Well, then, get us to the bar, then.
Yes.
What are you doing?
So first I was going to say, what is Noel doing before I try to jump in with Sergios?
He's just there.
Yeah, I'm just there. I'm just following you guys.
So you're just watching,
Mm-hmm.
being entertained.
Yeah.
Are you not entertained, Noel? Are you not entertained?
I am. I'm hungry. You got food?
He wants dinner and a show.
Since he is not entertained, Sergios, after watching Ronnie do what she does, and then watching Stryker for once seem like he actually knows how to pay attention to the atmosphere around him, which throws Sergios for a loop.
You don't know my life.
No, but
about that,
he knows you well enough after working about 5 different jobs with you that you are just the epitome of irkiness.
I walk alone.
Sergios walks over and stops maybe about 5 feet in front of the two of them and just simply says, if we're going to get this done, we should probably hurry. Bar's not far from here, so we should make pretty good time.
I'm like, all right, let's do this. Don't say nothing witty. Don't say nothing smart. Just go. All right, let's go. But throws him off because he does.
It actually does a little bit. You see him make, like, just for an instance, it barely registers, but he kind of almost cracks a grin.
And then, so hold on, wait, I'm about to throw you off even more. So as I get up, I said, Ronnie, let's go. Let's get this done. You ready? All sweet inside, like she's my best friend in the world, and I'm going through it with her. You know, we girlfriends right now. You know what I'm saying? You on that time, I'm on that time. You know what I'm saying?
It's like I don't think she's into you, Stryker.
And he went the opposite direction of the way I was going. You messed up the joke.
Heads, what you say registers, and she gets up and starts moving. Tails, she doesn't register anything you said at all.
That's fine.
You and your goddamn luck. Heads. So Ronnie gets up. She doesn't say anything.
Now you got to do it now.
Yeah. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't really give you any sort of communication that she's, linking with you or anything. She just gets up quietly. And you notice as she gets up, her face still looks like she's doing a 1,000-yard stare. And she just slowly turns around and points to Sergios. Which way are we going? Sergios just starts walking.
This is fun watching play two characters.
It is.
I know, right?
I've been doing this for 3 recordings now.
It's your own fault, you fool.
It is not. They should have never excluded her in the first place, and I wouldn't have had to made Sergios to put them back on track.
Oh, you think you put him back on track. You have no idea whether you did or not.
I can only assume.
Well, and the fun thing is the next one we play, I'm technically playing 2 different kinds of characters in one. So that's going to be fun.
Oh, my.
Oh, no. He's got a character with split personalities.
I mean, technically, I could pull that off.
I mean, Stryker's giving off that kind of a vibe right now between, sometimes being the sensible and then the rest of the time being wacky.
No, it's not split personalities. It's him just playing to the situation. His strong suit is being the idiot.
Ouch.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he ain't lying.
Well, Sergios, after a few more, we'll say 15 or 20 minutes of walking, you guys make your way up to the White Stag Tavern. Just as grungy and ramshackled as before, you guys open the door, step in, and this time of evening it's a little bit crowded. There's a decent amount of noise going on inside. The patrons closest to the door all turn to look at you when you step in, but most of the rest of the tavern ignores you. It's kind of dimly lit. There's smoke in the air. There's a bunch of people laughing off in one corner. Some folks playing cards in another corner.
Oh, Lord, you said the wrong word.
I know, right?
Now, to iterate for people watching at home, yes, I took them to the White Stag, the place that Ronnie stayed at, the #1 tavern in all of Quiche, instead of to the White Snake, which is where Sir Regios usually likes to hang. This is because that's where the Deadpool is. I did the smart thing, ladies and gentlemen. So, in case y'all think that I have my information crossed, I do not.
And just as you guys are coming in here, the barkeep turns and looks and says, "Oh, good! Some customers! Come on in! Welcome! What can I get for you?"
And Sir Regios turns and looks at the barkeep. And it's been a while since I've seen you as well.
It's been a while.
Oh, I know you from someplace. Let me think about it now. Yes, Serenadia. No, that wasn't it. Sriracha. No, that wasn't it either. Don't tell me. It'll come to me later.
And Sir Regios just starts laughing. He goes, "Oh, I do miss this game." And he pulls out his deck of cards and starts shuffling them in his hand. And he goes, "Remember what happens if you can't get my name right within 3 tries. You have to pull from this deck."
Oh.
And if you pull anything that's not a face card, you owe me a free drink.
Spaghetti-O!
That's one.
Regina.
No, it's not. It starts with an S. I'm sure of it. Sancho.
That's 2.
Sapricio?
And draw.
That.
And as he draws the card, he picks up an 8.
Oh, fine. And he grabs you a small mug of some undisclosed, unnamed brown liquid. And then turns to the rest of you. What can I get for the rest of you? Hey, Ronnie, good to have you back. Are you thinking you're going to want another night here at the finest tavern in Kish?
And Ronnie looks at him. She kind of forcibly cracks a smile, and she sits down at the bar, and she just kind of puts her head down.
Oh, I can spot a sordid face a mile away. One moment, I've got just the thing. And he turns to the rack behind him and fumbles with a couple of bottles for a moment, and then places a tall glass in front of her with a crystal clear liquid in it.
Oh, got the back.
What does this smell like? Does it have an aroma to it at all?
Strong.
It smells strong.
Like fire, like the fire whiskey strong, or a little more?
Like
so?
stronger than that.
That piques her interest a little bit, because as you know, Ronnie loves her drink. So
Mm-hmm.
She loves her drink. Yeah.
She slowly lifts her head up. She stares this glass down. She looks it over, picks it up, sniffs it, takes a moment to think about it, and she takes a sip. She doesn't go hand-fisted like she usually does with a good drink. She just takes a sip.
Give me a 12 side for a Constitution saving throw.
Indeed. That one is a 9.
9.
You said
Because I don't have my
nine.
sheet in front of me. I think my Constitution's +2, right?
It is. So you take a sip, and very quickly after, you can't feel your tongue. It's just sort of dissolved into this crackling inferno.
Ronnie looks at the glass and kind of goes, and then looks back up at the barkeep.
What do you think?
Sits the glass down. Ponders for a moment. With the night that I'm having right now, I might need more of this. And she immediately picks the glass up and just chugs the whole thing.
And the barkeep just sort of grins and then turns next to you, Noel. What can I get for you, young sir?
I looked at Stryker. I'm like, hey, man, you got me, right?
Sir Regios just kind of grins when he hears that.
Oh, Striker's being sugar daddy.
And I just point to Sir Regios. And I go, nah, SpaghettiOs got you.
And with that, Sir
Sir
Regios...
Levitico? Okay, Sir Levitico. Okay.
And with that, Sir Regios rolls his eyes, looks at the barkeep. Would you like to try again?
Well, I'll let you fellas figure it out. And he turns to you, Striker. Can I get you something, my good sir?
Just give me a regular ale.
A regular ale. That can be about 2 coppers, and it'll be coming right up for you.
And I take out 2 coppers, like, here you go.
Thank you, sir. And as soon as he sweeps it off the table, he pulls up a bottle. Sits
Thank you.
in front of you.
And I just go, we're going to save you. And that's it.
And with that, I
Second
think
up.
this is where we actually have a good opening for their comical relief hour. Now, I can slide upstairs.
All right. Don't be too long. The tavern keep actually settles down in front of the two of you guys. Glares a little bit at Sergios for stealing that free drink, but then looks back at you guys. So, I can tell that you're not from around here. What brings you to Kiss?
Business. Some things.
Oh,
looking for
yes.
stuff.
Anything I can help with?
How do we make money around here?
Oh, you're looking for work. I can certainly help you with that. There's a quarry up on the mountainside. I hear that they'll take anybody who comes up. Pay reasonably decent wages for a day's work. Hard stuff, but you look like the sort who could do it.
Oh, great. What else do they have?
Well, let's see. If you're not interested in the quarrying, there's always a couple of merchants here and about who need someone to help with port and stuff. Oh, well, actually, that was before the blockade, and now that we don't have too many ships, that's maybe not such a big thing. Let me think about that a second. Oh, yes, the ranchers. Kish is one of the only cities in the north that has any livestock. For some reason, the dragons leave us alone. But that means that the ranchers are always looking for farm hands to tend to cattle and whatnot. I bet you could get a job with one of them.
Oh, nice. So the quarry or the farmers. All right, great. Thanks. I appreciate that.
No problem. So, have you made a decision about the drink yet?
You got me right, Stryker? Come on,
I
man.
told you. And I don't know who this striker is. You say my name out here.
Oh, yeah. Reginald. Hey, Reginald, you got me right.
Yeah, you know what? How many drinks I can get for 1 silver?
A silver? Well, if it's more of those ales you're talking about, I can give you 5 ales for a silver piece.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of us. You know what? Another round for all of us.
Ales for everybody! You got it!
Oh, man, I appreciate that, Reginald.
Don't worry. You're going to owe me later.
He takes a silver piece from you and reaches down under the counter and spreads a bottle of the same ale out in front of everybody.
And I go, spaghettiosos, still deliciosos, sir, kumquat. You're welcome. No, you owe me later. And I just look down at Ronnie. I'm like, and I just do a head nod. That's all I do.
Given the state of mind Ronnie's currently in, you have a sneaking suspicion she's not going to be interested in that bottle of ale.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's not.
And so the other thing is there's 4 of you, but 5 bottles of ale that he just distributed on the table. So there's one up for grabs.
Oh, I know it is. And I go look at the barkeep. Here you go.
Oh, thanks, but I don't imbibe my own goods, especially not when I'm on the job. Not good for business to get a little bit buzzed, you know what I mean?
I mean...
Nope, can't take it, but I appreciate the thought.
I understand. It's like, not off your own supply. I get it.
That's right. Yeah. You got it.
I look at no, I'm like, no, you know about.
There was a great poet called Sir Biggio. I used to read him.
Sir Biggio.
I can't focus after that line. I can't focus.
Yeah, he
had a huge. Well, never mind.
But I'm like, I know who you talking about too, man. Next to him and Toucan Pop.
Yeah, I heard he got shot by a fellow poet.
Yeah,
they were exchanging,
some serious lyrics.
Yeah, I know. It's just terrible.
Just going at each other. And this is how you feel 5 minutes of dead.
Welcome. Why was that what I came back to?
Timing.
Actually, it was actually a little serious before you came back to, but I was like,
his rival poet Tupacios was a very good, very good poet.
Tupacios. Did you hear about his manager, Hitty? Hitty he kept stealing. Hitty was a thief.
I heard around the way it was him who did it, not each other. I don't know. It's just rumors. People say Tupacios is still alive. He's in the island somewhere.
He went
to a place called
Silver Pieces with Ronnie.
I think he went to a place up north. I think they're trying to call it Marica. Marica?
Malcopia?
Malcopia, I think that's what it is.
No, okay.
Are you sure it's Malcopia, or are you just thinking about the copious amounts of your stash that your wife might be finding right now? That's the real question.
In Russia, wife takes stash and then fuck you.
Oh, wait, whoa! My wife didn't find my erotic art stash.
She's been gone for so long. How short can you be?
Yeah, what's she doing? Do you know where your wife is? No.
And I look at Noah's like, that's why I bring my stuff with me. My friend will never find it.
Like I left that at the gentleman's club I work at in my locker.
Ooh,
one of the talent may have found your stash.
Yeah, I may have talent. Yeah.
I have a friend who works for one of the ladies of the night, if you will, just up the street. Hey, if you're looking for a good time, I could, put you in touch, if you know what I mean.
And I look at him like, I bet you do. I see that smile on your face. You dirty dog, you.
He's like, I get the urges, but I love my wife, so no.
Oh, that takes a rare character to hold true to those kind of convictions. I must applaud you, sir, though you'll forgive me if I don't share the sentiment. I was like, yeah, I just got a new girlfriend. We're in love. But I can take a look. I ain't got to touch. I can take a look. I ain't married.
Into
here's a fella after my own heart.
into that statement, you just see Sir Regios just you can see him visibly like visually just trying not to crack up at this whole conversation.
And I look at him and say,
I said, hey, so Levitico, don't act like you're above this.
And immediately he turns around. Wait, who's closer to Sir? Like, who's in front of Sir Regios if he turns to his left?
I'm gonna let you guys decide where y'all sat.
I'm gonna say Ronnie sat on the right, so I'm probably closer to her. That means Regios is on my left. So that means no, you're on his left, probably.
Oh, well then.
So Sir Regios is in the middle of all this, of course.
Yeah,
Best thing in the world.
Of course. So
No, wait, no. Because then Noel would be next to me then. Because if the barkeep was set right in front of us and looked at both of us, so yeah. So that means yeah.
All right. So
Noel's
you
on
two
my
in the
right.
middle,
Noel's on my right.
and then Sir Regios is on one side, Ronnie's on the other side, and the two of you are in the middle.
Yeah.
All right.
Better protection that way too. Aha.
So Noel is between Sir Regios and Stryker in that case.
Okay. So then I'm not turning to my left, I'm turning to my right. Okay. So Noel, you see Sir Regios turn and look at you, and he just immediately just bust out laughing. It's almost unsettling to see him like this blissful in his laugh, just dying.
And I'm like, oh, see, he's laughing, so he knows he gets a little like lady of the night action.
He goes,
He's like,
and he rests his hand on your shoulder, but for some reason you feel a little extra force there. You're not sure if he's drunk or not yet.
Yeah.
But
you should.
you feel
should
the
be.
force.
You had 2 beers now.
And he looks
Hey,
at you, and he
Stryker bought
goes,
you an ale, by the way.
"Oh, nice." So, and he looks at you, and he goes complete deadpan, and goes, "Unlike Stryker, I never need to pay for it. Period." And smiles again, and lets go of your shoulder, and goes, "But you're a married man, so you don't have to pay for it either."
And I look at him. I said, "When have I ever paid for it?"
And then he just kind of does one of these. Remember Marigold? And then just
I didn't pay
grabs
for
his
her.
drink.
Then I was like, and then I put my hands on sort of Levitico's shoulder and says, "We all pay for it, friend." It's called indirectly or directly. You buy a dinner. You get her some nice stuff. You're paying for it some way.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, you notice that Sir Regios is looking at you as if he's perplexed by what you're saying. Pay for what?
So while those two are going at it, debating the finer points of married life, or getting the milk for free, Stryker, the barkeep, shuffles over more towards you directly, and then kind of leans in and says, "Your buddy here, I heard he called you Stryker. That wouldn't happen to be the bounty hunter Stryker, would it?"
I'm like, no.
No, and I go, what? Oh yeah, I'm too far away.
He's
Never mind, I don't hear.
You're not far away.
He's real close, and he's like sort of trying to keep it intimate with just you. But Noel, if you really strain to hear, you can probably make it out.
Oh no, I misspoke. We're saying Stryker all day because we're looking for the guy, and I called him Stryker by mistake. His name is Reginald.
Oh, you're looking for Stryker, that bounty hunter. So you know about that Deadpool that they put out on his head.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, I think
I've
if you
got
say
a
his
bet
name,
on there that is the very unpopular one.
Oh, what's that?
I'm the one who bet that Stryker will come into the city and get away.
It's a pretty long odds on that bet. I'll grant you that.
Oh,
There's some
yes.
pretty rough people looking for him.
Yeah.
Why, there's about 5 of them in this tavern right now, not counting yourselves.
And without turning around, he goes, "You mean the Moron Brothers, Palky, and Mr. Stabby Stab?"
Well, I don't know any of their names, but I know their reputations.
Yeah, as do I. And trust me, Those guys getting Striker probably won't happen. More seasoned people will get him if they were to get him, but not those 5.
And as you're saying that, the door to the tavern opens again, and a figure sort of hooded steps in. You guys have your back to the door, so you can't see it immediately, but you notice as this figure steps in, you hear the footfalls, the noise in the tavern drops significantly. And the barkeep peers over your shoulders, SourceU, and looks at the figure in the doorway and says, "Well, speak of the devil! Here's one of those more seasoned ones now."
It was Master P from Melcros.
I hate you so much.
Does he have his son with him, little Romeo?
Yeah.
I hate you just as more.
That was the Yin Yang twins from Mariah. Oh.
Those guys are okay.
And the barkeep
Little John.
excuses himself from your company and steps over to an empty stool. "Mr. Yao, it's such an honor to have you in my establishment, sir. The best tavern in all." Yes, the best tavern in Kish. I know it well.
As he
I
says,
understand that you have a couple of guests here, Mr. Zhu. A couple of guests which my employer would very much like to meet. Oh, Mr. Yao, if there's anyone in this establishment that your boss would like to meet, he of course is welcome at any time. Who are you looking for? And you don't see anything unless you turn around, but you can kind of feel his eyes on the backs of your heads.
can I roll to see if I know that name?
Yeah, I was gonna say me and Striker.
You and SourceU both should roll for that.
That should
12
be
side for intelligence.
10, baby.
12.
Oh, we are hot right now.
You both recognize the name Yao. And
As he says
only once have you ever heard Mr. associated with it, so it could only be the Yao.
When he says that name, I just go, fuck. It's real silent. And I kind of like don't even turn my head, but I look over at SourceU. I'm like,
and as you do that, SourceU is looking back at you, and he just does this and taps 2 times with those fingers on the table, and immediately turns around and looks up at Yao.
SourceU, it's so good to see you again. We weren't expecting to have you back for another month or so.
Well, things change. You know how it is when you're jumping from job to job.
Of course. The boss, of course, is most interested to see you now that you're back. And your associate, Mr. Striker. Will your friends be accompanying us?
Looks down. I'm afraid you have the wrong person there, Yao. That there is Reginald.
And Yao kind of glances around the tavern, looking directly in the eyes of each of the other bounty hunters in turn. Oh no, I'm quite certain that this is indeed Mr. Striker. As you know, my employer does not make mistakes. Don't worry. He's off limits, gentlemen. And with that, the other bounty hunters kind of shrink back a little bit.
and then I go, all right, so now I got like, I turn around and go, my name is Reginald. I don't know what you're talking about.
At that moment, all you hear is a cup slam on the bar. Ronnie gets up and just walks over to Yao.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. But I already know I don't like you.
I'm sorry to hear that, miss. I try not to be offensive to anyone that I meet.
Stop talking. What does your boss want with us?
He wants to meet with you. I don't know any more than
If
that.
this has nothing to do with the missing children and other people who went missing, I've got no business with your boss, and neither do they. Step off.
Well, look, miss, you don't have to come if you don't want. Boss said nothing about you. But, Mr. Seregios and Mr. Striker, he did ask for my name, and, I am going to have to bring them. And, gentlemen, you know the rules here. You can come with me of your own accord, or I can bring you, but come you will.
Sergios takes a moment, looks at Stryker, looks at Noel, looks at Ronnie, looks back at Stryker. Would it be wise to try to calm her down first before we take care of this?
Yes.
Do you want to do
We're gonna
that,
jump
should
him,
I?
right?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Missy Yao, if you will give us a moment, please.
Of course. And he actually takes a couple steps back and allows you guys a moment. He seems, by the way, now that you're looking at him properly, very well dressed. He's big for a man, probably 6'2", and 250 pounds easily, if not more. Brawny, but immaculately clean, well-groomed, professional looking.
So him and Stryker, not him and Stryker, him and Seregios are the same height. Wait, Stryker, what is your height again? You're like 6-something, right?
I'm 6'3".
I'm 6'1".
Noel's 6'3".
Okay, so he's just a little bit taller than Stryker, but he's the exact same height as Seregios, and Noel apparently just makes us all look like children by an inch. Good to know.
Your characters are all huge.
All except for Ronnie, who's only 5'8". Poor Ronnie. Doesn't seem to
She's
bother her,
basically
though.
so she's like a short, like muscular woman.
What, you thought I was going straight anime with her and making her like the super tall 6'3" girl with all the muscles that always shows up in fantasy anime? No,
Yeah.
sir, no. That's a bit unrealistic.
Unreal.
Wait a minute. Realism? We have that here?
I don't know. Are we playing by anime rules?
No, we're playing by pseudo realism. It's kind of over exaggerated. That's what we're doing.
All right, what's going on now?
So you're approaching Ronnie is what's happening.
All right, thank you, because I had to deal with.
Yeah, I heard her open the door.
Yep. All right, so I walk over to Ronnie. I was like, Ronnie, can I talk to you for a second?
She looks down at you. Well, up at you, I guess. What?
This guy might have information for us. He's his boss. Is well known. Has his ears to the ground. Knows a lot of things.
Black market?
Kind of behind the black market type of stuff, you know.
This just keeps getting better and better.
So he might have some information too, even though the other person we gotta talk to, but he might have some information. I want to find this little girl as much as you. I have a soft spot for kids. You know this.
That statement right there, you see her kind of drop from being angry to a little bit more of that 1,000-yard stare again.
I said, don't go back that way. Don't go back that way. Look, the quicker we get this done, and Lord help us, because the longer I gotta sit with Sir Red Spaghettioso, Reggio Loso, whatever his name is right now.
Levitico.
There you go. Thanks,
She looks up at you. I don't know. You two seem like the perfect couple. I can't see what you two seem like the perfect couple to me.
Like I said before, we grew up in the same type of way, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we
Just
we
tell
kinda,
me this: this person we're about to go see, did you do anything to wrong them?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, well, it's come from Noel, so that don't mean so much. I mean, it's coming from
Striker,
strikers.
yeah. It only means so much, right?
Misspoke.
I can easily say this: if I did something wrong, technically I would be getting dragged out of here instead of asking to come. So I'm just gonna say I don't think I did anything wrong.
Oh, he's saying he didn't do nothing. All right.
Ronnie takes a moment. She starts looking down. Just walks over back to the bar. Grabs the cup. Finishes what's in it. Flips the cup over upside down. Fine, let's go. Pulls out a silver piece, slams it on the bar top.
Thank you very much, Miss and Mr. Yo. As always, you're very welcome in my fine establishment. Yes, thank you, Zoo. Are you all ready to come then?
One moment.
All
And
right.
I turn around. I was like, I still got this other drink.
You can bring it with, can't you?
As you hear him say that, you look over and notice Sir Regios is already pulling his into his flask.
I'm like, bruh.
What? Get your own flask.
He did give you a bottle, so like you can just take the bottle.
Oh, he did? Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
the ale came in bottles. You all can take the bottles of ale.
Except for I don't think Ronnie's did. I think
No, Ronnie's did not come in a bottle.
No. I was like, oh, it's cool. Bar, cool. All right. Thank you.
It was nice knowing you fellas.
What do you mean knowing that? What?
Ronnie turns back and looks at him. Don't worry, we'll be back. And if we're not, this town's gonna burn to the ground. She stomps out the doorway.
And I look, I was like, yeah, what she said.
Like, who's gonna burn it if you're dead, though? That's what he said.
Yao actually like folds his arms as Ronnie stomps out the door and he says, "Oh, I think I like her."
But then I look at him like, you can take her.
I might just do that, but after we get to know each other first.
Sir Regios walks up to Stryker. Did you mean take her in a fight, take her in a sexual way, or take her off your hands?
I look at Noah when Reggio's come and say that. I was like, does it matter which one he takes from her?
Are you guys friends or not friends? I'm really confused about your relationship with this woman.
That's for us to know and you to find out, friend.
So then, is this one of Stryker's jilted lovers then?
I won't use the word lover at all, but like the other two.
I put my hand on my sword. I said, say that one more time. It's not I get serious. I'm like, say that one more time.
Sir Regios just looks at you. 1, put your knife back in your purse. 2, do we really want to... Sure, if that's what you want to call it. And 2, do we really want to keep Yao waiting?
I don't know. I kind of want to see how this turns out, to be honest.
Just with that statement, Sir Regios just kind of grins a little bit.
I'm already walking out the door as he started.
Oh well. Guess I'll have to get my entertainment later.
I look at him. I'm like, after we talk to the boss, and I get it.
What you are.
And I do a shit eating grin too, like.
Sir Regios will follow up, and then he looks at Yao. If I end up having to murder him tonight, it's going to be very bad for the situation at current hand.
I wouldn't worry too much about you being the one doing the murdering.
And I'm also going to need to talk to your boss about the current situation as well. He's a businessman. I'm sure he'll understand.
For all I know, that's why he wants you here. All I know is he said to fetch you. Now, if you'll all follow me, I'll take you right to him. Right this way. And very stately and proper, he begins escorting you down several twisted alleyways deeper into the heart of the city.
Can I take off this dang on rope now?
Well, I suppose so, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't telling him, Mr. Yao. But thank you. You know, you're very nice. Unlike somebody I know.
And
you try to
Sergio
prim and
just looks at you and goes, "Are you sure you want to start another one of those again?"
And I look at him like, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
If you insist, give it here.
And then I put mine back on like, oh, now I feel better. Is this a rash? The hell is this?
You might have knocked over one of the poison vials when you took it off.
Poison.
Sergio just kind of shakes it a little bit, sees as many liquid drops out.
But it was in the other pocket. How did it get over? Man, But I put my hood on still. I'm like, all right, needs to cover the hair up. Look, I'm not that stupid. At least I can cover my hair. Very noticeable.
Quick question. Everybody's positioning? I assume that Sir Regios and Stryker are next to each other, but what's their distance from, like, who's in front and who's in
Yeah.
front?
So Yao is leading the way.
Yeah, obviously he's leading the way, but...
I mean, you all get to choose what order you want to follow in. You're all player characters.
So...
I'll be kind of behind, but still considered in the group, not too far.
He's got a shield, so yeah, he needs to be the rear.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Noel because he's actually not the rear then. Ronnie's the rear.
All right, Ronnie's trailing far behind. Okay.
I'm right next to Mr. Yao. Like, you know what? If I'm right next to him, there's less likely people to do something stupid.
He does sort of notice that you're sticking very close to him, and he kind of smirks at you. Don't you worry. Since the boss has asked for you, ain't nobody going to mess with you on our little trip.
That's quite reassuring.
I look up at well, technically he's like 1 inch taller than me, so I look at him like, you know what? I feel safe.
At least until the boss meets you.
Still feel safe?
As we're walking, yes, until we meet the boss. But did I do anything to the boss? I can't remember. I don't think I did. Like,
well, keeping track of the contracts and stuff ain't really my department. The boss just tells me who to fetch for him, and he deals with the rest.
Can I roll I don't know if this would be under history or a memory. I'll say memory roll. We'll just go with that. And see if maybe I might know what this is about.
Sure.
Because he called for both of us. So this could be an old job that we both worked for the boss.
Can I do it too?
Yeah, you both can roll. 12 side for intelligence.
Ugh. I hope you roll better.
I got a 6.
Oh. You still roll better than me.
And so was this intelligence, history?
This was intelligence, which covers things like memory and history. Sergio's natural.
You got 1. So then I got a -1 on intelligence, so that's a 5, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Still better than me. So.
Stryker, you've got this feeling like there is something you're forgetting. Like, you know that you've done work for this guy in the past, on several occasions. It could be about one of those jobs, but... You can't remember what the last couple were right now. Maybe that ale was a little bit stronger than you thought it was. But it's just not coming to you. But you can feel it nagging you in the back of your mind. Sergios, you have no flipping clue why you guys have been
Stryker be Stryker. That's all you need to say.
That's basically the thought going through his mind probably at this point. Stryker's just being Stryker again.
Yeah,
it's probably just another Stryker screwed up a job scenario. But why am I getting caught in? Maybe he has a new job for me already.
So you guys wander through the streets for probably a good 20 minutes. And Sergios... Actually, let me double check this here. Real quick.
Did you need to check?
Stand by. I got it. So actually, no. It's Stryker and Noel. Mm-hmm. You guys both notice that you seem to be taking a rather circuitous route. It's not a straight line. It's sort of wandering around all over the districts. Almost as if Yao is deliberately trying to mislead you.
Stalling or stalling us or something?
You're not sure. All you know for sure is that he's definitely not taking a direct path to wherever it is you're getting.
Can I
Of
do?
course, the reason why Sir Reggio
Can I
doesn't
call
have
him
to
out?
think about that is because it's normal for him.
Can I?
Well, go
Oh,
ahead.
can I call him out? I was like, hey, this seems strange. It looks like we're doing like kind of like a pseudo circle. Where are you taking us?
Standard security procedure, you understand?
How so?
No will then be interrupted by Sir Regios at that moment. You, back in your home country, you have a underground crime syndicate. You have black markets and such. So you understand that these type of things must be kept under wraps. These things must make sure that people aren't being followed to certain locations.
Oh, that's weird. I mean, but are we being followed? Because it looks like we're doing like a giant circle.
It's
Yeah.
like the man said, it's all about security. You can never be too careful.
All right,
It's actually mainly to make sure that you don't know how to find the place afterward.
all right. Carry on. If so, Levitico says it's okay.
Don't worry, we're almost there. And true enough, not more than a couple minutes after he says that, you guys arrive at a reasonably stately-looking building, which is tucked away off of the main street. It looks pretty nice. Not exactly grandiose, but not run down or ramshackle like so many of the buildings you've been in recently. There's warm light coming from inside, shining through the windows. Stryker and Noel, you both notice as you guys approach the building that there are multiple pairs of eyes around the area watching your approach. There's at least one person up on the roof of this building. There's a person on the roof of another building off to your right. And there's another one skulking in an alleyway just down the street. All of them watching you as you approach.
I'll say, huh? We're being watched. Are we getting close?
This is the building right here.
Oh, I figured. Yeah.
I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, here we go.
And Yao walks up the 2 or 3 steps to the front door and raps on it. And a slot slides out. And Yao mutters something into the slot. And a moment later, it closes, and you hear multiple locks being undone, and the double doors swing open. And Yao beckons you to follow him inside.
Sergios turns and looks at everybody. Just be on your best behavior, people. And walks in.
And as you guys walk in, Yao stops just inside and turns to face all of you. Of course, you understand. For security reasons, I must ask that while you're in the home of my boss, Mr. Teomat, that you please deposit all of your weapons in this strongbox that we have provided for you. And he gestures to a very large banded iron crate on the floor. You have my personal assurances that no one will inspect or rummage through your belongings until you depart.
And, of course, Sir Regios is already shovel inside of this box.
I put everything in, but I try to sneak by a little dagger I had.
Okay, all right. Stryker,
Everything's in.
you're putting everything in. All right. Ronnie?
Ronnie seems reluctant to drop her axe in there.
I do understand your hesitation, miss, but I can assure you, you will get it back.
Then I look at Ronnie like this, like, you know, and then I kind of flash a little dagger.
And Ronnie will put the battle axe in, put the daidao in. She will try to. Well, she's still wearing the heavy fur that she got. No, she hadn't gotten it back yet. That's still being.
Yeah, it's still being made.
Yeah, that's still being made. So the hand axe is probably in plain sight then.
Mm-hmm.
Inside. So yeah, that's
It
gonna
is.
have to go in.
That's a difficult weapon to conceal anyway.
If we'd had fur, it wouldn't have been hard at all.
After I put all the stuff in, can I do a perception check around?
Sure. What are you looking for?
Just to see any well, you said we had at the front, right? So
yeah, you're in
pretty
like
sure I
a
can see.
vestibule or an atrium,
So
a
pretty
greeting
much-
room.
So I can pretty much see everything around there.
Yeah.
Ronnie
There are
has got
2 other
also
people in the
perception.
room besides Yao.
Ah.
They are both behind you at the moment, against the opposite wall of the little room that you're in.
Okay, so there's only 2 extra people plus Mr. Yao. So I'm gonna look for. What do I want to look for? I know what I want to look for. I just can't think of the name right now.
I know what
Come on.
I'm gonna ask for. I just real quick, because
Mhm.
while she's putting her stuff in the box, she's also kind of taking a look around the room. Can you just describe what this area looks like?
Okay. So it's about 15 feet on a side, square. Stately, but not overly lavish. Clean, and the decoration looks to be very tasteful without being overly flamboyant. There's a small iron lantern hanging from the ceiling, which is about 10 feet high, 12 feet high. And it illuminates the room reasonably well. You know, it's candlelight, so you get your mileage may vary.
All wood or stone?
So the interior of the room appears to be all nice wood paneling, with some tapestries and artwork and stuff hanging on the walls. There is, of course, the banded iron and wood chest on the floor where you guys are currently depositing your weapons, and it is quite large, certainly large enough to accommodate large weapons like battle axes, spears, that sort of thing. There's also a small closet next to it, where you could hang your coat or armor or shield if you so desired. And in fact, Noel in particular, Yao is gesturing for you to stow your shield in there, since he seems to think you won't need it inside. Although, by the way, Yao is gesturing, he's making it optional, not mandatory, that you deposit the shield. The 2 individuals standing behind you are both wearing black robes and hoods. You can't immediately identify them. You'd have to inspect them more closely.
I got everything that I wanted out of that. Thank you, sir.
Would there be any other exits, or just the only? No.
I mean, just for that area, I'd assume that's the only
So
one.
there is a large double-wide staircase which leads straight up into the building, opposite the door that you guys just came in. You assume that leads further into the house and presumably to the boss that you're about to meet. One flight goes up and one flight goes down.
Are there any extra windows?
There are no windows to this room. It is just the lantern overhead is the only light source.
Oh, then that answers my question too. All right, then we can keep going. I gotta look for extra exits just in case.
I understand.
All right. Did Ronnie decide which weapons she's depositing in the box?
I mean, she doesn't have a real way of hiding anything. So if she tries to keep the hand axe, she feels like it's gonna cause an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So for now, she will put the hand axe in there as well.
Okay. I don't keep track of all your inventories. Does Ronnie have any other weapons or equipment that would need to go in there?
Just the battle axe, the die-dow, and the hand axe.
Okay. And Noel, you said you put everything except a dagger in there. Okay. You're muted again, by the way.
Yes.
No
Sorry about that.
worries.
Stop playing gluten-free gaming. You wouldn't have to mute yourself.
I'm not playing Hearthstone.
So as soon as you guys have finished depositing your weapons, Yao is going to inspect each of you for a moment and say, "Please forgive me, but we are going to have to search you just to make sure. There were some untrustworthy individuals that tried to come through a couple weeks back and attempted to smuggle some weapons through, so we've had to tighten the security a little bit. And he motions for the two figures who've been standing at attention on the opposite wall to come forward. If you wouldn't mind, please place your hands and your arms straight out like this, and we'll just get this over with very quickly. And he points his fingers to the two who are going to be doing the search. No touchy-feely business, just looking for weapons.
And the moment
swear that you can hear one of them snicker.
Yeah, the moment he says that, Ronnie looks up and turns her head to the both of them. Touch me, and I'll break both your shoulders.
And again, you hear one of them snicker, and the offending individual pulls her hood up and grins a cat-like grin at Ronnie. I like this one. And you recognize that it's Gadok, one of the twins that you dealt with earlier.
Sorry.
And at that moment, Ronnie will just kind of squint. She'll go, haven't I seen you before?
Yes, we passed briefly in the alleyway. I'm surprised that you didn't kill Stryker.
Oh, don't worry. It might still happen. And with that, Sir Regios just kind of rolls his eyes, places a hand on Ronnie's shoulder. Just try to relax, please.
And while they're searching me, I sneak the dagger into my boot.
All right. I'm going to need you to roll me a 12 side for
Oh, boy.
I knew it.
dexterity,
You said it. I knew
think.
it. Yeah, it would have to be.
I think that'd be a dex.
Yeah, that's
Woo!
nice.
Oh, boy.
Come on, you got
sweating.
this. You got this, man.
I'm sweating.
You got this.
I got a 9.
Hot damn.
Oh,
All right. All right. So, Ronnie, Gadok approaches you and with a somewhat Cheshire cat grin begins checking around your arms and sides and down your legs, being maybe a little more enthusiastic than she needs to be, but not reaching places she really shouldn't be reaching, if you get my meaning.
So Ronnie's gonna allow her to finish, but she's got a death glare stare right on the back of her head. Just Ronnie's waiting for the moment for her to touch something she shouldn't, and she's going to immediately stomp this chick's head into the ground.
Noel, Kadok, her brother, is the first to come up to you, and he actually has a bandage around his head from where Seregios beat the shit out of him with that shovel. So he doesn't look too great, but he still starts feeling you up and down the middle and down each leg and feeling around the boot, and then stands up and moves on over to Stryker. And sorry, he moves over to Seregios because Gadok has already moved over to Stryker.
Oh,
and
so
Stryker,
real quick, Stryker, while you were away, the twins were the two in the robes.
Yeah.
And the crazy sister is now searching you right now.
And Gadok,
do with that as you will.
And sort of lovingly caresses your head.
I'm gonna go away real quick.
So glad. Oh, don't now. No need for that. This will only take a moment.
And she proceeds to search you, touching and feeling you in the most inappropriate ways possible.
As that's going on, Sir Regios is going to look at her brother and put his hand up and go, no offense, but I don't want you trying to place a weapon on me. Sir Yao, do you mind searching me instead?
All right, if you wish.
Nothing personal, but I think he might have a vendetta after what happened between us earlier, which again, wouldn't have happened if you didn't hit me in the chest with your flail.
You had it coming.
You didn't have to. We could have just talked it out. I tried to talk.
I wasn't too interested in the talking. I was interested in the bounty. It was my sister who wanted the talking and more.
Yeah, I can see that. And he will just point him over to what his sister's doing.
which is not something that we can describe on YouTube, unfortunately. But
Right.
Just lots of heavy petting. We'll just say that lots and lots of heavy petting of Striper.
But yeah, we don't have enough clout to do it. You can do it in YouTube as long as you have enough clout.
yeah, we don't have any clout.
What's
So
clout?
Yao gives you a quick once over, and within a moment, y'all are done, and Yao smiles appreciatively. I thank you for your patience. Right this way, please. And he begins walking up the stairs.
As they're walking up the stairs, you're muted, just so you know. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. Never mind. As that's happening, Ronnie kind of fall back a little bit and kind of meets shoulder to shoulder with Stryker. And she doesn't look at him, but she just says, if you need to, I can always kill her for you. And then immediately walks back ahead of Stryker.
Yeah. Oh, just so everybody know, I'm being a parent right now, so.
All right.
I can tell. Yeah. Do you need me to repeat what just happened for you?
I kind of heard it.
Okay, so
So I'm just kind of mad that I'm getting patted down right now.
oh, the pat down part's over. You've already been
it is
abused.
over?
Yeah, we're now
okay, cool.
going up the steps. Ronnie fell back to your and talked to you and said,
And
if you needed her killed, then Ronnie can do it for you. And then she walked back ahead of you.
And I successfully snuck a dagger in there.
Yes, that also happened. So
And as Ronnie's telling me this, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna probably start being nice to her a little bit more. And then I end back, and then I think about like, but then what is the fun in that? It's like, it ain't a good old time if we don't try to kill each other. Well, mostly her try to kill me. You know?
he loves the abuse too much, people. He is indeed a sub.
True.
I will say that you notice as you're walking up the steps that the twins are following behind all of you.
So since Stryker is, I presume, is the one in the back here, which twin is the closest to Stryker's ass right now?
I mean, both of them, technically. They're walking side by side.
I start walking up and I turn around like, look.
Oh, I am.
No, that's not what I mean. Like, not right now. Phew. You know, not in front of the big boss, man. You know, we gotta wait till later, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, there might not be a later.
Oh, trust me, it's gonna be a later. And I go, I'm probably gonna die. You know, I think about it, I was like, at least I won't get raped by her. Well, she might do something to my corpse. You know what? Yeah, I'd rather be alive and die somewhere else. All right, let's make sure I don't die.
Uh-oh. I don't like that laugh.
I don't like that either. I don't like that.
I don't know what that Rolls decision was for, but I get bad vibes from
I
it.
just
Bad
start walking
juju.
faster.
Bad juju. And I'm not talking Destiny either.
I just start walking faster to get away.
Well, you can't walk any faster than Yao, who's making a very stately pace up the stairs. You guys reach the second level and make a turn to the right and walk down a decently sized hallway. Again, similarly, wooden paneling walls, nicely maintained, tasteful artwork on the walls. The place is nice, and the owner clearly has an eye for good quality art.
Any historical weapons hanging up?
No.
Hey,
No suits of armor or anything like that.
So
Oh,
Sergios is going to actually eye up these tapestries because he's feel like he's seeing kind of some of the same ones throughout the house as they've been walking. And after seeing the tapestry that was back in the Oracle's place, I'm kind of curious to see what these tapestries are.
So the thing that you saw at the Oracle's place was a relief carving in solid rock. These are actual, like, woven tapestries. And they don't really bear any resemblance to what you saw in the Oracle's chamber.
Anything particular, or is it just like the sign of Tiamat on all these tapestries?
Oh no, actually, the symbol for Tiamat's organization is nowhere to be seen. It is actually much more typical artwork you would expect of a merchant or a regular businessman. Landscapes, bowls of fruit, attractive, shapely women in unusual poses, sort of thing. Nothing too raunchy, but think classical Roman Greek art kind of thing.
Oh, so essentially every bust of Athena or of Aphrodite that you could ever imagine.
Is something like that, yeah. A couple of those. There are a couple of small marble busts inset on the walls here and there, tastefully so, but not very many of them, and you don't recognize the people they represent. You don't have a lot of time to really look at all this stuff in the hallway as you very quickly arrive at another very grandiose double door. And with that, Yao opens the door, takes a few steps in, and then steps to the side and gestures for you all to step in.
So Sir Regios will actually walk in first.
You notice as you walk in that there are already 4 elegant wooden chairs with rather plush-looking cushioning seated in front of a large desk, waiting for you.
I will never get over these grand things that you like to do. Even the comfort is a little bit too much for my taste.
The gentleman in the high-backed chair on the opposite side of the desk regards all of you as you walk in with an unreadable expression and doesn't answer anything that you just said, Sir Regios.
As I would expect.
Are you going to take the seats? Are you going to stay standing? What are y'all doing?
So
I give a sense of like, I trust you. I'm gonna sit down.
Okay.
Sir Regios just kind of looks at Stryker, and he kind of points to the chair between him and Noel for Stryker to sit down at.
Mm-hmm.
And then once Stryker circles around, Sir Regios will sit down as well.
I didn't even say what I was about to do. Jesus.
What are you doing, Stryker?
You're telling me what I'm going to do?
I ain't say what you was going to do. I say when you do it.
I'm looking at that chair very closely just to make sure it's a regular type of chair.
Roll for it. Give me a 12.
I got a 10.
It looks like a very elegant but otherwise ordinary chair.
Okay. It has arm stuff on it, armrest, stuff like
armrest. The backing comes up to the bottom of your neck, so no headrest for you to lean back to, but it still looks reasonably comfortable.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Can I also do another look to make sure ain't nobody pointing anything at me in this room?
Yeah, give me another 12.
12.
The room you're in is quite large compared to most buildings that you've been in, probably 20 feet on a side. And similar to the rest of the house that you've seen so far, it is immaculate, adorned with tasteful artwork, and there are a number of bookshelves along several of the walls, fitted out with a number of very impressive, expensive-looking tomes. There's the chairs on which you sit and the desk in front of the businessman, and several tall latticed windows behind him facing out onto the street. Very nice gold-plated chandelier hangs from the ceiling, brightly illuminating the entire room. You don't see anyone else in the room aside from Mr. Yao and the twins who have now stepped in and closed the door behind them.
Okay. So I look at Sir Regios and I'm like, all right. I walk around, stop, And I just stand in front of the chair for a few seconds to see, like, sit down. Don't rest my arms on this. I keep my arms ready just in case I gotta quickly get up and do something.
That's funny because it was the same thing I was going to say Sergio was going to do.
Clearly, you guys have done this before.
We know this person. That's why we're like, yeah, no.
So, Ronnie, it seems you're the last one to take a seat.
And Ronnie refuses to sit down.
Is she going to stand in front of her behind the chair or just wander around the room? Or what's she doing?
She is literally going to keep her back against the wall where the door is.
All right. The businessman sitting in front of you is similarly to Mr. Yao. Very well dressed, but not flamboyantly so. He's wearing a very simple mercantile suit, if you will, something that you might expect at a gathering with many. How do I want to put it? It's not like state dinner level of finery, but it's up there. Certainly fancier than anything any of you have ever worn. Looks good on him. He's a middle-aged fellow, starting to bald, dark hair, very little bit of beard, and small mustache, all very nicely trimmed. He's got a kind of a long face, very lots of creases and wrinkles, belying his age. And as you all decide what you're going to do and eventually sit down, finally, Seregios, he first looks up to you. Seregios, tell me, what have I done to earn your disrespect?
I mean you no disrespect. However, there are some things at play here that even I wasn't prepared for.
I'm not talking about that. You come into my city and you don't pay the tribute. You go gallivanting around with Stryker here. But worst of all, you come into my home, you don't even greet me as a brother, and you bring an uninitiated sellsword with you. And he sort of nods in the direction of Ronnie.
And he looks right back. Yeah, there's a lot going on that you don't know is going on. You might want to get the full story first.
There'll be time for that in a moment.
And he turns now and looks at you, Stryker.
Stryker. I told you never to set foot in my city again. And yet, here you are. Why do you defy me?
I did. And I just keep doing it. I was like, I didn't mean to define. I'm just sitting there like, I can't even get the words together. I was like, I'm sorry. I had an important mission that required of utmost importance. I even risked my life to come back here, knowing that it could be my last, to try to save everyone.
And did you bring a token of your apology with you? Something to make up for that botched job that I gave you?
And I pull out my gold. I'm like, yeah.
How much is that now?
100.
100 gold?
Mm-hmm.
You set that on the table. He doesn't move to take it from you.
I'm sorry. I know. And I put it down.
And
then Noel looks at Stryker. He's like, "We need that money." And it says under his breath. He says,
and I'm like, and I'm sitting there looking at him like, I ain't dying for you, no freaking gold. Kiss my ass.
Sir just looks at the both of you. Doesn't say anything. He just looks at you. And Then he turns.
Teomat waves a hand, and Mr. Yao comes up to the table and picks up the sack, weighs it, opens it up. About 100 gold or so, sir. Yeah. A reasonable tribute, though it pales in comparison to the item we were after on the job you abandoned, Striker. But I will consider it. And now he looks to you, Noel. Tell me, what is an Uruk soldier doing up here in Kish when the Uruk Navy is blockading goods and services?
Before you talk, I'm just in here. I'm just looking at it. Reggie, I was like, I hope he doesn't say nothing stupid. I just hope he doesn't say nothing stupid. I'm just like,
this has nothing to do with my nation. I was just accompanying my friends.
Oh, that's an awfully noble gesture, considering the trouble that your friends are likely to get into.
And he casts a glance at Ronnie in the back, but returns his gaze to Seregios without addressing her.
So tell me, what is this important mission that you came into my city to do without bothering to tell me about it?
This actually ties in to the botched job.
Oh, does it now?
And he glances back at Striker.
Interesting. In what way?
and I'm sitting there shaking my head like,
It looks like Murad stumbled upon a piece of the puzzle. However, it's only a piece. They couldn't translate the document. They forced Stryker to come here against his own volition. They have one of his comrades in holding, possibly could even be dead by now, but we're unclear on that part. I took job to take over the mission. My job was to make sure all this went smoothly, get them in, get them out, without them causing trouble. However, that assassin leader of theirs is a bumbling idiot.
Yeah. The Murad Assassins Guild has always been a bunch of pimps and losers.
I wasn't ready for that.
Sorry about that.
It made me frilly inside.
Pimps and losers.
Be that as it may, there is a bit of a finishing touch to the job that needs to be done for all these things to be tied off. However, what I can say is this. You let us leave here today and finish this job, and when we return, we may be able to give you that piece of the puzzle.
And he thinks about it for a moment, leans back a bit, steeples his fingers.
Perhaps you would, assuming that you complete the mission and get out alive. But if Murad is involved, then my sister agency, operated by Mr. Moroni, is no doubt behind it and looking to steal the spoils from me. If you complete your mission, you'll be walking right into his trap. I cannot allow this.
If that's the case, then may I make you a counteroffer?
No.
He's trying to get one up over you, correct? Allow me to do exactly what I was going to do to close the mission out in the first place. There's no way I would give a piece so important back to Murad. I plan to give them nothing, but make them feel like they had something.
What are you suggesting?
As I said, they couldn't translate the document, but I think I can get it translated. Allow me time to work on a backup of the piece. One that looks authentic enough that once they get it, they'll think they're being handed back their own little merchandise.
And tell me, Who are you going to have attempt to make this forgery?
Well,
And I go, I think I know a guy. And I look at Ronnie.
Yeah.
And I look at Ronnie. I'm like, Ronnie, it's time to go say hi to your uncle.
Make sure he doesn't make it crooked.
God damn it, man.
And with that, Sergios looks back up. I was just going to make Stryker do it since he used to do all the counterfeiting stuff back in the day, but if this other person he thinks should do a better job, then maybe we go with that.
If I do it, they will know.
Which also will give us a chance to do something else that we might be able to pull off. Maybe. I'm not sure about this part, but we'd have to stop in Lagash to see this person. Uruk's currently there. Maybe we can convince Uruk to let the trade routes go through. Either that, or we can just take down the blockade from the inside.
And at this, Teomat actually smiles a little bit and shakes his head and chuckles. Ah, Sergios, you always were one of my best headhunters, but you never did have a mind for the politics.
And with that, Ronnie speaks up. I can get them to put down the blockade.
Oh,
Mm.
can you now? Are
Yes.
you in command of their navy?
Let's just say I have a relationship with somebody who can do it.
Oh, unless it's with the Lady Etana herself. I think you'll find your influence is not as great as you believe.
Then I think you'll find my influence better than yours.
On the contrary, that blockade is doing exactly what I want it to do right now.
You want your people to starve.
Oh no. I want my people to make money. Right now, with that blockade up, only my ships can get through to deliver supplies. I have complete control over trade by sea or river.
And you're just okay with all the starving children.
We've had starving children for 100 years. The blockade from Uruk hasn't changed that. I'm moving almost as many goods as the old trade ships did before the blockade. Many of them are mine now, run by my own captains.
Don't you dare say.
Let me guess. The Dainty Prince.
Captain Nurul did tell me he brought a barbarian lady from the south on his most recent trip. I admit he was quite enamored with you, but I don't quite see the appeal.
Good. You're not supposed to.
He turns back to you, Sergios and Stryker.
I have a better idea. You can go with the twins here and retrieve the item that you were supposed to get for me the first time before you abandoned your contract. And then you can bring it here to me, and I'll forgive all your debts and welcome you back into the family.
And I go, here's the thing. Where we were going, I don't think it's there. That's why we kind of need to get this translated to make sure it's actually there. Because it's supposed to,
Stryker, I know that you went to see the Oracle this morning. If anyone could translate that thing, I'm sure it would have been her.
Would have been, if it wasn't for the bumbling assassin that I told you about. Speaking of which, where is he? Ronnie just grins. Dead. He had it coming.
Am I to understand then that this document of yours has been lost?
And Ronnie looks around. I wouldn't know exactly what the thing is, so I couldn't tell you if you had it on him or not.
And with that, Kadok, actually no, sorry. Mr. Zhu, oh my god, I'm getting all my names mixed up.
Yao?
Mr. Yao steps forward and reaches into a pocket of his coat and pulls out an oversized scroll. Boss, are you looking for this? And Seregios, you notice that looks an awful lot like the map.
And he just leans over to Stryker. I thought you still had it.
No,
Didn't you give it to him?
I gave it straight to you. And I said, don't.
No, you said
lose it.
not to hold on to it. You kept it yourself, remember?
No, I
He
did.
pulled it
I'm
off for
pretty
you.
sure that you
No,
handed
I
it
gave it to you.
Seregios.
I walked and I shoved it in your chest and I said, don't lose it this time.
We had a whole thing about this last episode.
I mean, it would have been inside of Sir Regios' cape, so...
Well, you got the shakedown from Mr. Yao, and
You had the cape back on.
I didn't put it on. I was just holding it.
yeah,
Well,
but he checked it. That's what the roll was for earlier.
and I look at him like, you know what? I'm never giving you anything ever again.
He looks at you. What?
And so saying, Mr. Yao, with a slightly apologetic glance in your direction, Seregios, spreads the scroll out on the desk in front of Teomat, who sits up and leans over to peer at it. Of course, the map by this point is gone, but the original text is still there.
Yeah. So we have the original document. We know that the Oracle can translate it for us. I don't believe we have any further use for you unless you've already translated it and you can save me the trouble.
He sits back again and steeples his fingers.
I'm like, you can try to go see the Oracle. Might not end well. Or we can take the document, go get the piece, and I want him to come. I don't want her to come. Is that okay if one of the twins come? Not both of them? Yeah,
I
no.
would consider it. But given your reputation, Stryker, for bumbling important missions, and the fact that Seregios was in on you with this, and willing to lie to me about the status of this document of yours, I think I'm going to insist that both the twins accompany you.
Well, can you promise her not to do anything until at least the mission is over? I need all my strength.
He kind of flicks his eyes over to Gaddock and raises an eyebrow. And you just see her at the corner of your eye give that Cheshire cat grin.
And with that, Ronnie said, don't worry. I'll make her behave.
Maybe you'll be useful after all. Very well. You and the twins will go and retrieve the item that this document described, and you'll bring it back here to me. We have an agreement.
Like, one more thing. Can we at least try to save my friend first, too?
Where's she being held?
All right.
You need to be more specific.
Assassin's Guild.
Oh, those punk cheapskates. Friona will be in no trouble at all. I'll have one of my people look into it. You don't need to worry yourselves.
Thank you.
Wait, you need to tell her a name or stuff?
Well, you probably should. I don't know if the Assassin's Guild is in the business of keeping many young girls, but knowing her name would make it easier to find the right one.
Her name is Riku. I call her Spunky. She's probably not spunky right now, but and then you see me getting a little emotional. I was like, she's smart, nice little energetic young lady. Reminds me of
need to know more than that.
Reminds me of my stepsister. I go,
and then while he's crying, I put my arms around Striker's like, man, you're choking me up, man. He's like, man, I miss it so much.
In that moment, Ronnie actually starts walking over to where they're all sitting.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't go but like maybe 2 feet from where they're sitting at that point. And then she looks up at Teomat and just simply says, there's another young girl I would like to ask you about, if you don't mind.
What would that be?
A young girl named Linnea went missing about 2 weeks ago, along with a slew of other people. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
Oh, I would direct you to Mr. Heron. He tends to deal with all the businesses involving individual resources.
Slavery, then? Great.
It's such a harsh word and has so many negative connotations with it. Slavery implies that the person has no choice in the matter. We, of course, give them a choice. Mr. Heron finds them suitable employment if they're unable to find work on their own. He has a particular eye for people who are stuck out on the streets with nowhere to live and nowhere to go. Don't judge him too harshly before you've met him, but I imagine he might be able to tell you more if you have the coin for it. Mr. Yao will introduce you.
Great.
I start collecting myself. Like, okay,
Gentlemen.
let's go do this.
And he kind of gives you all a sweeping gaze. I must warn you not to double-cross me on this. If you fail this mission, or do not return this item to me as promised, I will place a price on your head so high that every bounty hunter in the whole continent will be looking for you.
Oh, and then Noel's like, ask him a question. Sir, to make sure this is successful, can you gear us up, as per se? Some high-end weapons. And I rub my hands like, oh, yeah. And I laugh at him.
And immediately, Ronnie loses all of her steam and just looks at Noel and just, for Christ's sake.
And I know I'm looking at him like, bro, we just made it out of here alive. Why the hell would you ask him?
Even Sir Regios looks at Noel like, do you know where you are?
Hey, if he wants us to be successful, he needs to give us the tools.
I can introduce you to Mr. Herluin and Mr. Van Rint. They are purveyors of exotic goods and information. If you need additional equipment, I would speak to them. Mr. Yao will introduce you.
I was like,
thank you. There you go. See there?
And I look at him, I'm like, who's going to pay for it?
What? It's not on them?
No.
Oh, dang it.
You people from Org really don't think about these things.
Thank you for that gesture, but we don't need it. We gotta find weapons, and we'll just go, and we're gonna find the little girl, and then we're gonna be on our way to, get you the thing, wink, wink.
Mr. Yao. And he gestures, and Yao steps up to you guys and motions for all of you to head to the door.
So, as everybody else is heading to the door, Ronnie is going to look at the twins to see if they're trying to follow or not. And depending on if they follow, will depend on what Ronnie does next.
Well, for the moment, they step out of the way so that y'all can go through the door.
Okay. One on the left, one on the right, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Which one's on the left, which one's on the right?
I don't
Just say
think
male
it
or
matters. We'll say that Gadok, the woman, is on the left.
Okay. As everybody walks out, Ronnie decides to walk out last, and she gives a death glare to her on the way out the door. And then walks.
Gadok just smiles back. And Mr. Yao kind of folds his arms again and watches Ronnie go. And he's like, yeah, I think I like her.
Okay, once again, I say, and I don't even say it, I just look at him like, you want to be my lover, but you know.
Sergio's just looks at all this and goes, Striker tried to play Love Connection. I don't understand how that works.
As many women as I had through my travels, and I had many women.
He just looks at you.
She
and all
hasn't had
those situations end horribly, don't they?
Hey, at least I had lovers, man. I don't think she had none in like.
Did you ever ask?
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask a woman her how many men she been with. I'm just saying.
No, you gotta verify if she's like, loose in the, you know what I mean? You gotta.
Please don't finish that statement. I know we demonetized, but that was definitely
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Did you make sure it was single digits?
So it was at this point that the channel went from just having one video demonetized to having all videos removed. And SourceU's gaming channel was never seen or heard from ever again.
Make sure it's not triple digits.
Seen or heard from ever again.
And with that, Mr. Yao is going to marshal you all back downstairs to the entryway, where, just as promised, the banded iron chest is exactly where you left it. And when he opens it up, all your gear is right where you left it.
Grab all my equipment. Make sure everything is still good. Make sure ain't nothing been tampered with.
Sir Regios will grab his shovel, and Ronnie will start grabbing her axes and her daidao. And as she's picking up her daidao, being the last thing that she grabs, she just takes a look towards the staircase area just to see if the twins are anywhere around.
They're there. Hanging back, but watching.
Oh,
and
in that case, she's gonna
grin is still on Gadok's face.
Oh, in that case, she's gonna make a show out of pulling the daidao out of the box. So when she pulls it out, she's gonna hoist it up and then slam down on the top of the box to close it, and then hoist it over her shoulder instead of shooting it along with her battle axe.
Well, if that was meant to intimidate the twins, it doesn't appear to have worked. Gadok is sort of impassively gazing at you, and Gadok just grins. Like, she's definitely enjoying this.
I look at Ronnie, I was like, Ronnie, you gotta do it differently.
And she just slowly turns to Striker. I ain't getting into any of the freak show shit that you like. And with that, she finally takes the daidao and sheaves it, and then walks towards the door to leave.
And I go, wait. Thank you. And then I let her go.
Ronnie doesn't say anything back. She just gives him a nod and keeps going.
You guys assemble in the street out in front of the building, and Mr. Yao is the last one to leave. And as he steps out of the building and closes the door behind him, you notice that he now is carrying a very large glaive in one hand.
Oh, lovely.
He
hoists this over his shoulder, not too unlike what Ronnie was doing a minute ago, and says, "All right then, follow me." And he begins walking up the street.
Yeah, I got my hand on my sword. I just got one hand like palming it like this, like, I'm just gonna keep my hand right here just in case.
I got my hand on. I got my hand on Betsy. It's small.
Which one's Betsy?
The cleaver. Remember I got from that dude?
You got the meat cleaver.
The meat
That's
cleaver.
right. I forgot. Named Betsy.
Oh yeah, that's right. I picked up that rusted knife and I never got rid of it.
No, you have that.
Yeah, SourceU has it.
Yeah, I got a dagger that I stabbed somebody with. I still got that.
But you know what you don't have? The document. You left it on Teomat's desk.
Well, there was no way SourceU was going to try to grab that right there in that instance.
True, and he probably wouldn't have allowed it.
Yeah, that would have probably been more of a striker moment.
I'm just surprised that none of you attempted it.
I was
honestly.
hoping that Striker was going to do it.
And then what you don't realize is I go,
Nah. Sad, but no. So,
we don't need it anyway.
I hope not.
Because it was going to go to the same place where we were going anyway. So screw it. Let's do it. That's why I try to trick them. Like, no, it's not there. It's not there. But yep, it was there. So we're just going back to the same place we were going to before, people.
As you start following Mr. Yao, he kind of looks over his shoulder at you, Stryker. So, did you fellas want to go and talk to Mr. Varinth and Mr. Heroin about getting some equipment? Or are you really good?
If y'all ain't paying for it, we ain't going.
Sergio's just pats his shovel. Who needs more equipment when you got this?
Fair enough.
I was like, Mr. Yao, real quick. Did you happen to grab the paper off the desk? Not the one.
No, sir. That's going to stay with Mr. Teomat.
Okay, just making sure. Just double checking, just double checking.
You don't actually need the map that was on that, right?
The what?
Well, I assume you know where we're going. I thought it was a map of some sort, but
no, I kind of needed that to go back to the people just in case, just in case we get stopped on the way back. Just go.
I know he thinks that we were lying when we said it, but what part of we didn't get it translated doesn't he understand? Whatever. So it's a map.
I know.
That much obvious. Map to where, though? Where? Oh, wait.
Well, best of luck to you then. If it wasn't something you were able to translate and you don't know where you're going, well, it was nice meeting you. Nice seeing you again, Sergios.
Can I try to go get it real quick?
Sergios looks at you and just goes, "Let's just move."
All right.
We'll just make a quick stop then at Mr. Heron's place of establishment.
Is the twins behind us?
Yep.
Damn.
You see Ronnie perk up a little bit at the mention of making this other stop. She goes, "Is this guy really as okay as your boss makes him sound out, or is it just the usual talk?"
Well, I don't know quite what you mean by that. The boss hasn't told me to do anything untoward to Mr. Heron. I understand that he makes the boss a fair bit of coin.
Oh, so they're business partners then?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Great.
You guys follow Mr. Yao through the streets and alleyways. Another somewhat convoluted path, but not quite as crazy as before. And after about 15 minutes or so, you arrive at a smaller but still rather
reputable-looking building on the periphery of one of the market plazas. And as you approach, I mean, it's dark out, and there's a dim light shining through the window. But Mr. Yao knocks on the door, and after a moment, there's a bit of a rustle inside, and then the door opens very slightly. You can see there are multiple chains holding the door closed, and a single eyeball becomes visible in the gap. Who's there? Hello, Aaron. I have some customers for you. Oh, good. One moment. And door closes again, and you can hear the chains sliding off their racks. And a moment later, the doors pulled fully open, and sort of hunched over, man, a little bit twisted in the back, long, gaunt face with a shock of dark hair is glaring at you in the doorway. Well, come on in. Don't be standing out there in the cold.
It's summertime.
Come on in.
And I look at Ronnie while we're going in. I say, let's get the answers. Do not rile him up.
As soon as you guys enter, this sort of hunched man closes the door and throws all the bolts again. Forgive me, the not exactly safe after dark. We have to keep the doors locked. Let me go fetch the master. We'll stay here, make yourselves comfortable. And he sort of hobbles off up a narrow flight of stairs to the second floor. Mr. Yao, for his part, finds a chair in a corner and sits down heavily, the chair groaning under his weight. And he actually calls you over Seregios, inviting you to play a game of cards while you wait, knowing full well your addiction to cards.
Seregios sits down, pulls out his deck.
Mm-hmm. So Striker and Noel, what are you guys doing?
I hear him call Seregios over for cards. As soon as I hit cards, I'm like, here we go again. So I start looking around. I do a perception check of the room, just looking around, see what's around.
All right.
I'm actually also going to do one with Seregios while he's shuffling.
All right. What were you saying, Noel?
I was going to tell Sir Levitico that you better win big.
I hate you so much. I rolled a 6 because of that.
Because of that, I rolled a 11.
Lucky.
All right. So, Regios, you're too distracted by your upcoming card game to really notice anything particularly interesting in the room. Striker, you look around, and the thing that's most notable to you is the whole back wall of this room that you've entered has a number of hooks in the ceiling and on the walls, and the wall seems to be divided up into platforms, almost as if something was supposed to be displayed there, but nothing is currently situated in any of the spaces. The hooks are all bare. There are a number of sconces along the walls for torches, but they've all been extinguished except for a single lit candle on the countertop off to one side. And then, of course, there are the chairs and the table where Mr. Yao and Seregios are sitting, preparing to play cards. And then there's the staircase leading up to the second floor, and then also leading down. And there's a large, heavy oaken and steel door at the bottom of the stairs that you can just make out in the darkness.
I go, random hooks. I don't know what kind of freaky things they be doing in there. Okay, I see them playing cards. What is that? I wonder, is that a door? What's behind that? And I just go, all right. I go find a chair, sit down, probably close to them playing cards so I can see his ass get whooped. And I mean you, Sir Regios.
Yeah, as you approach to do that, Sir Regios looks over his shoulder and kind of motions you over for a second. And then he goes, "Do you mind pulling that card off the top of the deck for me?"
No.
Oh, come on, Striker, don't be that way. If
I'm
it's
not
a good
going
card,
to the
if it's
I'm
a
not
good
doing-
card, I'll give you 2 gold.
last time I owed you. And that was the last time after that I owed you. And the last you know what?
Oh, come on,
No.
this time could be the good one. Come on.
You know what? You know what? Fine. Pull it off.
2 gold for you.
And I look at him like, do you actually still have the gold? Or did that get taken away from you when you got patted down off the paper?
You still have your gold.
And as you're saying that, he rolls his eyes, pulls the 2 gold out, puts it on the table, and slides it over towards you.
Thank you.
It's a good thing that you didn't let Kadok pad you down.
Oh yeah. No.
I'm surprised I still had my gold after I got patted down.
So what's Ronnie doing while the rest of y'all are doing this?
Ronnie is impatiently tapping her feet on the floor while waiting for whatever is supposed to happen.
All right.
She doesn't like all this grand design stuff. She's not really into the idea that this place has got multiple hooks, looking like people or animals' corpses should be hanging from them, just out in the open. She's not really into any of what's happening at the table with them playing cards. She just wants to get the information. She wants to leave.
Well, you guys end up waiting for about 15 minutes, which seems like an eternity for Ronnie, but for the folks playing cards, that's not so bad. Noel, are you going to do anything in the 15 minutes you're waiting?
I'm just gonna perception check, try to see if anything's up or find anything.
Okay. Give me a 12.
Okay. Oh, I didn't find. I got a 3.
Yeah. You notice the hooks on the wall, but nothing else really seems interesting or out of place to you.
All right.
About 15 minutes into the card game, you hear steps coming down the staircase. And this very tall, well-built gentleman steps down from the second floor. He has a short, dark goatee, widow's peak raked back severely and what looks like gelled in place. Maybe a little bit hastily. You can see one side is a little bit smeared, like he just woke up a few minutes ago and had to hastily get himself ready. He's wearing a business jacket, but it's a little bit loose and ruffled around the edges, like he threw it on in a hurry. And he steps down quite stately and holding himself quite high. Stryker and Noel, you guys both notice in the gloomy light as he comes down the stairs that there is what appears to be a whip coiled and slung through a snap on his belt. But otherwise, he appears to be unarmed. And he steps down onto the floor and casts a gaze over all of you and grins. Well, it's good to see some customers, although I admit it's a little bit later than I usually receive them. Tell me, who is interested in some of my merchandise?
I'm only interested if you know where this little girl is.
He draws his attention to you, Ronnie. Little girl, you have to be a little more specific than that.
Her name's Linnea. Went missing 2 weeks ago. Ring a bell?
Oh, no, I can't say that it does, but I do tend to see a lot of little girls, if you know what I mean.
Who's facing Ronnie's direction at the moment between you and Noel Stryker?
Noel, Stryker, are you guys looking at Ronnie?
Yeah, I'm looking at Ronnie.
I'm kind of keeping an eye on him because he got that whip and seeing where his hand positions are.
So, no, you notice the moment he made that statement that Ronnie's hand seems to be slowly reaching for the hand axe.
I put her hand on her shoulder. I go and I shake my head.
And with that gesture, she just slowly drops her hand to her side instead.
And I whisper in the ear to describe her physical features, her hair, her eyes.
And as soon as he says that, she kind of remembers the wanted poster and or the missing persons poster, rather, and pulls it out and hands it to him.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, yeah, another one of those terribly drawn posters that the guard posts now and then. No, I can't say that I can recognize. Well, no. The nose is all wrong. No, I can't say that I recognize her. And he hands the poster back.
I go, did you just say the nose is all wrong?
Oh, yeah, I mean, look at it. Have you ever seen a woman with a nose this ugly? I certainly wouldn't take one into my collection. Oh, no.
Ignoring the nose, then, does anything else pop out? Excuse me.
Try to breathe in and do
I've got
I'm the
nothing
one.
but dead air just now. I don't know what that was.
You all right there, buddy?
Wow.
I'm the one doing all the growly voices today.
I know. Let's try that again.
Well,
Ignoring the nose, does any of the other features stand out to you at all?
what do you expect? I mean, this was obviously hand-drawn by a novice who'd never seen a woman before in his life. I can't exactly tell a person whom I might have met from something like this. Details. I need details. Or, and he sort of holds out a hand. Maybe a little bit of incentive to jog the memory.
Ronnie's going to start out with 2 gold.
He takes the 2 gold, and tosses them a little bit in his hand, and grins a little bit, pockets them.
2 weeks ago, you say? A young girl. You know about the age of her?
14.
Oh, 14. I do seem to remember a couple of young ladies that crossed my establishment about 2 weeks ago. One of them might have been in the range of age that you're talking about. Yeah, so what are you interested in? You looking for a companion? Someone about that look and that age to accompany you on your travels.
She points down to the bottom half of the missing persons poster to where the reward is.
Oh, look at this here. That's actually a lot of money for someone like that. I'm impressed. But I'm afraid if that's all that you're after, I'm afraid you're out of luck. If she came in 2 weeks ago, and it is the woman you're looking for, she's already long gone.
Who would you sell her to?
Oh, well, now. That's confidential, I'm afraid. I don't give away the information of my customers, you understand. It would be bad for business and foster a reputation of distrust. I don't tell any of my clients about any of my other clients.
Fine. How much did you sell her for?
Oh, well, that I can tell you. A nice young lady. She was reasonably healthy, along with the others in that group. I parted from her for around 1,000 gold pieces. If it bothers your conscience, she went to a good family for servant work, as I understand it. Much better life than living on the streets.
Ronnie just kind of mulls over everything that she's just been told. The information rushing to her is a bit much. she was expecting something more sleazier to happen here, and she's actually getting something almost close to wholesome. So, in her head, she was ready to deck this guy, pull out her hand axe, and cut his throat. Now, she's not sure whether to shake this guy's hand or not. She's very conflicted right now.
Well, she should have sigh of relief if what he's saying is true.
Right. And that's the other part of it, is that she's also trying to figure if she can believe the guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Can I check to see if he's lying?
People who's going on, right? Well.
All right. Give me a perception
sense.
check.
Like a sense, sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a 12 side for perception.
I got an 8.
So, Stryker, you're watching this gentleman pretty closely as he and Ronnie are interacting, and as far as you can tell, he seems reasonably sincere. I mean, there was a little bit of sleaze there when he asked for the incentive to help jog his memory, but that's kind of to be expected, considering what you guys are doing.
It's like, man, I'm just thinking in my head, like, he's a businessman, but he don't seem like a bad businessman.
Yeah. As far as you can tell, he's being honest with you. And as you're mulling this over, he kind of tilts his head to one side and looks at the rest of you. And, is there anything else? I interest you in some of my wares? You look like you could use a good time.
Sir Regios out of nowhere goes, ha!
And I go, yeah, he might definitely need one.
And then to that he goes, yes, you sure do, Stryker. You sure do. Also, good game, y'all. Impressive move.
Thank you. Thank you. Shall we have another round?
Absolutely.
I'm like, we do have some stuff to do. But I would like to see Mr. Yao whoop your ass again. So, you know what? Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, it was a close game, and I respect a man with good game. Intelligence enough to play. And the ability to keep going afterwards.
Oh, is that what he said?
That endurance, man, that's important. Stamina.
And then he looks up at Stryker. You're just mad because they never say that to you.
And then Stryker goes, I got mine.
I literally have a girl waiting for me back home.
Well, she's like, man, Stryker, just 2 more minutes. He's like, hey, you messed up, baby. You should.
So, Ronnie?
And I look at Noah, after your wife, I bet she ain't worrying about you right now. Said, 1 pump, let's go. Get it done. Let's get it done.
As all that's going on, she looks up at the stately man, and if what you say is true, then that means that this here missing persons contract is null and void, then, yes?
I rightly don't know who would have even placed it. When we found her, she was on the streets. Homeless.
Something for me to look into another time.
Well, if there's nothing else, it is quite late, so I would ask you to please excuse me.
We need not take up any more of your time or your evening. Rest well, sir.
So thank you. You as well. Always a pleasure, Mr. Yao.
And with that, he sort of bows elegantly and then opens the door for you all to leave his establishment.
And Ronnie will be the first one to go out the door. She won't say anything. She'll just walk out calmly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right behind her.
Sir Regios is cleaning up the cards and pocketing them, but then afterwards he walks over to Noel and kind of puts his arm around Noel's shoulder and go, come on, buddy. We've got a long night ahead of us. And
Why are you so happy for? I don't. That's this characteristic.
He goes, oh, let's just breathe in that fresh air. And as you walk out the door,
Yeah.
you notice he kind of shifts his glance ever so slightly towards the twins and then back to you.
And I nod my head. I'm like, And I start laughing with him. Oh man, you know, buy me a drink, right?
If we make it out of this in one piece, I'll buy everyone a drink. Rounds on me.
We're gonna die.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we will call it an evening.
Oh, it's 10 o'clock already, man.
It
10
is
o'clock already.
indeed.
Well, almost, but yikes, man, it flew. But this
I mean, if it really
flew by.
throws you off, it might almost just be 10 o'clock, but we've been recording, believe it or not, for 2.5 hours.
Oh,
Even with the late start. So, hey.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, this has been Fail PG. If you like what you see here, make sure to mash that like button down below. If you want to see more of this crazy content, hit the subscribe button. If you want to make some suggestions for things we could do differently or better, or just things you want to see, there are comments down below. Use them. But
Yes,
make
use the
sure that you
comments.
tell
Use the comments.
Stryker. Make sure to tell Stryker how you really feel about him.
Yes, please
Yeah.
tell me how you really feel about me, because I
Yeah.
really want to know.
Man, fuck Stryker.
What's Striker's real name? Why are you trying to?
Hey, I'm not telling you my
Why he
real
keep
name.
acting like he raised by wolves?
Why was he really raised by wolves? Will we ever know?
I
Maybe
told
we'll
y'all
find
the
out.
truth. I was
He
raised
told-
on
he-
the
he- yeah, he
I was
he told
raised
real
on the
story.
streets of the woods. You know what I'm saying? The mean streets of the Enchanted Forest. You know, that's where I was at.
Mhm.
Born and raised.
Why is Noel the way he is?
Dear Lord. Please,
And-
Lord.
Did his wife find his stash while he was away?
So wait, does that mean that she
Stash.
actually went to his place of work, went in there with all the other ladies of the night to find his stash amongst them?
I mean, we never did establish what her job is, what she does for a living when he's not there. And he's been flat broke this
She's
entire
loyal.
time. So
She's loyal. She'll
Sure,
never
she's
do them
sure she's
sure,
loyal.
sure.
things.
How long
Find
you been
out
gone
this
now?
and more.
She's just as loyal as military wives who are left behind.
Ooh.
So not much.
I was like, wait, how long we been on
Good that you
this?
know the
Not
statistics
touching that
behind
one.
Hold on, how long we been on this mission right now?
Oh, that's a good question. A month? A little more than a month, maybe?
Mm,
Oh yeah,
One,
she-
2, 3, at least 3 weeks, if not more than that.
Oh,
and then
yeah, she-
aside from that, don't forget the whole entire us traveling out to Lagash for that whole bit. That's
Mhm.
also got to get calculated into
Oh
that,
yeah,
boys.
she think you ain't
Noel's
coming
not
back.
worried. My wife has a middle finger and her ring finger to keep her busy. I don't have to worry. I'll be there in shorts.
I hate you.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Like, share, subscribe. Bye. I can't.
Bye.
I'm mentally
Bye.
dead now.
Bye.